Hey guys, welcome back to another Star Trek model review. Today we have this Eaglemoss USS Enterprise NCC-1701-A, the XL edition, the extra large version of the model. Okay, we got this box right here. There's a nice box here with the model inside. Okay, same as all the other boxes. And today we're going to be reviewing this with the magazine. Now, on the other videos, I never typically review magazines, but we decided to give this an exception. So here it is. There's the magazine itself with a beautiful artwork of the Enterprise A on the front there. Lovely CGI artwork there. As usual, we got USS Enterprise, registry, special issue there. Constitution class, launch 2286, 305 meters. 21 decks. Okay, got some contents, making Star Trek the motion picture. Now this is the Enterprise A. This is not the refit Enterprise NCC-1701, but for some reason Eaglemoss put making Star Trek the motion picture into this magazine and designing Star Trek the motion picture. Now, if they want to do Star Trek the motion picture, they should do an XL version of the refit Enterprise, not the A. If they want to do the A version, the magazine should include all the information starting from Star Trek 4 to Star Trek 6. That's when the Enterprise A appears, you know. The Enterprise appeared in the last 3 movies and not the first 3 movies. But, oh well, it is still, after all, based on the refit Enterprise, so I suppose, oh well, why not? Okay, so here we go, the return of Star Trek. We've got the crew on the front page. Beautiful, beautiful photography there. A little portrait of the motion picture crew. Okay, got some pictures here. There's the refit Enterprise filming model. Now there's a slight difference right there. Not sure you can see that. The bridge module is very rounded off. I think that's what we're going to get onto this model. There are some issues with this model. Later we're going to go into it, and it is a reminiscent of this photograph right here. And that impulse engine right there is just plain white. It's lighted white. It's supposed to be red. Maybe this is not the final version of the model. I'm not sure which version of this filming model that they made. Maybe it's one of the test models they did. Okay, we got Admiral Kirk right there in front of the Voyager probe, or the Voyager probe. Okay, got another picture there. We got McCoy, got Gene Roddenberry, and Harold Livingston, who were the writers of the motion picture. And we got we've got Robert Wise, the director of the film. And there's Spock on his controls. We've got some alien characters, all the different alien characters in the makeup chair. Got some artwork there of the uniform. And there's Ilea in her dress. This is one of the test shots. Okay, we've got more photos here. It looks like we've got an Andrew Probert artwork here of the refit Enterprise in Space Dock. Well, that's a very nice one right there. Always love the refit Enterprise in this particular artwork depicted in Space Dock. All right. Okay, it looks like a lot of behind the scenes images here. It looks like looks like Planet Vulcan, where Spock went to receive his Kolinar, in which he rejected. And then we've got the very first shots of the interior of the Klingon Katinga battlecruiser. And that is Mark Leonard, who plays Spock's father. And of course, that special episode in Balance of Terror where he played a Romulan. And this time he played a Klingon. That's a very nice shot right inside the Katinga battlecruiser bridge. It's very good, very nice. Love the atmosphere in there. And we got more, and that is the briefing room, I believe, inside the refit Enterprise. That's a very big stage they did there. Okay, sorry about the shaking there. And this is some of the visual effects work. There's the refit Enterprise, where it's lacking its registry at the bottom of the saucer. It's missing that. I think that is something that they added on late. They added later on. Okay, looks like we got some artwork of V'ger inside there, and we got Ilea, I think, turning into one of the energy things that V'ger did to her, you know. All right, that's another artwork of V'ger there, one of the background artwork, and then you've got the Enterprise refit model flying right into it, superimposed on it. Artwork of the battlecruiser bridge, and there's the physical model of the Katinga battlecruiser, and that is one of the travel pods which Admiral Kirk and Scott, when they sit in there and they're about to go to the refit Enterprise to inspect the ship. Enterprise refit going to warp. And what's that? That looks like V'ger. So it's created by, not sure, it's created by XTRA, I think. One of these special effects people that did the special effects work on the motion picture. Another V'ger artwork right there. And here is the behind the scenes where they shoot that bright beaming light where the V'ger probe came into the bridge of the Enterprise to assimilate, on quotes, assimilate Ilea, okay, and turn her into one of them. There's the Enterprise inside V'ger from the movie, and here is one of the models of the V'ger, part of V'ger, where the V'ger probe is situated at. Another Ilea artwork there, okay. And I believe that's the last page. And that's it. Then we've got the Enterprise A right there. Now, it's a little disappointing. Now, I'd rather have information from Star Trek 4, 5, and 6 in this one magazine rather than the motion picture. You know, because we've already covered the motion picture in the other magazine, you know, in issues, I'm not sure, issues 2 or 3. The refit Enterprise, when it first appeared, you know, the basic one, the regular release, and not the XL release. So I don't know. I hope that one day Hero Collector, you know, would do a new magazine. They print out new information about Star Trek 4, 5, and 6 for the refit Enterprise. Sorry, for the Enterprise A. So yeah. Oh well. Let's just hope for the best. It is what it is. I mean, Eaglemoss did their best. So now let's move on to the model. Okay, as usual, they all have flaps. Let's just take this off. Got some styrofoam packing in there, and there is the refit Enterprise right inside there. It's a very big model. Okay, we've got the stands. Now I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna take this off and put it all together. Okay, we got the stand. It's a very big one. Okay, we'll just set it to one side over there, and here is the refit Enterprise itself. Okay. Well, the Enterprise A. I wish it was the refit instead of the A, but nonetheless, it's still okay. I mean, compare this with the smaller model, the smaller version that we got, which is painted in that very dark gray, slate gray color, which is awful looking. And it lacked all the Aztec markings. Now on this, I bought this one because it has sort of almost the right color. It has this nice light gray tone to it, and it's got the Aztec markings on it, and it's got a lot of very nice detail, which I love, and that's why I bought this version. Even though off the bat, you can clearly tell there are mistakes already with this model. You could clearly tell that bridge module is the wrong shape. wrong dimension, and it doesn't even look like the refit Enterprise bridge itself. I don't know where did Eaglemoss get their info, and I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, that bridge looks a lot like the Phase 2 version bridge. I mean, don't you agree that looks a lot like Star Trek Phase 2 Enterprise bridge, not the refit bridge. I mean, if you look at the bridge on the picture here, look at that. It looks more angular. It doesn't look very rounded. It looks more angular on the lower bridge module part there. On the B deck, the B deck is supposed to be more angular there rather than rounded. And the upper bridge module, I mean, this part right there has to have an angular. There's supposed to be a part there that separates between all this, and that's supposed to be painted in a sort of a light gold color or something, as seen in the picture here. Oh well, I'm not really sure where the Eaglemoss get their info, but that is the only problem with this model. Now everything else looks very good. The nacelles are nice. Now the only problem is the those registry markings on the engines on the back end. They're just a little too big. They're supposed to be slightly smaller font and not too big, but oh well. But I like those warp grills. Those warp grills are nicely painted in. But they are clear. These are transparent, by the way. If you shine the light against the back, you can actually see right through it. It's not too blue like we get on the other Enterprise, the regular Enterprise. And now the deflector dish on this one is just a clear blue cap. It's lacking all the lines in there or a secondary paint application to make it look more better. But oh well. But it's got very nice Aztec patterns on all this. The saucer section, now the Aztec pattern on the saucer is not accurate. It's close, but it's not 100% accurate. But it's still okay. I mean, Eaglemoss did their best. I mean, they could have done better. I mean, judging that this is an expensive model that we're dealing with. I mean, it's an XL model. And the windows on the edge of the saucer, they're wrong. That's not correct. I mean, that's the same as on the regular Enterprise, the small one. It's like copy and paste here. They copy and paste the details, which is a shame. Now, okay, we got Starship USS Enterprise, United Federation of Planets right there. Okay. Now, the edge of the saucer is too clean. There's supposed to be sensor bands, those sensor band lines that runs right across, but it's missing on this one. The RCS thrusters is only painted at the top, and it should have painted right all the way around there, but that's missing. Okay, this window here is correct. That's accurate, like on the real thing, on the real model. But it's missing several other windows as well. Okay. There's supposed to be more windows here, but that's missing. Okay. Okay. Got some nice details there on the neck. Got some Aztec pattern. We got some red outlines there. Starfleet insignia. Starship USS Enterprise. United Federation of Planets marking right there. That's okay. Arboretum window is painted blue. We're looking at the bottom here. That's okay. That's very nice. We've got some phaser details. Cargo doors are nicely painted in, just like on the real thing. Oh, the name Enterprise. It's there, but the font is slightly thin. It's supposed to be thicker than that. Okay. And on the belly of the ship, we got our phaser banks. We've got the original Enterprise detail right there. And looks like we've got, I think, the tractor beam emitter. Yeah, that looks like the tractor beam emitter there. It's very clean. This is all, there's no molded details in there. So clean, flushed. This is one heavy model, by the way. Die-cast metal in the entire saucer section. Okay, the lower part here is plastic. The neck is die-cast. The entire half of the engineering hull, all this is die-cast. The warp pylons are also die-cast metal. They're nice and solid. And that's what I like about these models. I mean, these XL ships, they put a lot of die-cast into this. I really wish they'd done the same with the small regular ships. Put more die-cast in it and give it more value. I know it's expensive to make them, but at least it gives it value and a lot of sturdiness. Now, the refit Enterprise, don't worry, if you got one of these, this will create a lot of stability. This is a very solid unit, and you won't have wonky nacelles or anything. The nacelles will be nice and straight, nice and flushed, so you won't have problems. If these are plastic, they'll get warped one day due to heat and humidity, and that's the only problem with these Star Trek models, is you have plastic warp nacelles, unless they're solid plastic like on the Polar Lights, and those will stay sturdy for quite a long time. Nonetheless, this Eaglemoss is a pretty good model. This is still a good model, even though it has some mistakes. I mean, I don't know why the refit Enterprise has always been plagued with mistakes. It doesn't matter which ones you get, which brand or which toy company you buy from, whether it's going to be Art Asylum, DST, or Eaglemoss, or even Hot Wheels. I mean, it doesn't matter which ones. I mean, they're all plagued with mistakes. Color, details missing, and all sorts of things. Yeah, I mean, I've got the Art Asylum Enterprise myself. I've reviewed that before in a video about last year, and even that version has a lot of mistakes. The only mistake on that one is the windows. They're not painted very well, but everything else is okay though. Okay, now moving on to the back, there's your shuttle bay. Now the shuttle bay, I believe I'm not sure if it's die-cast or plastic. I'm not really sure. It could be plastic. I'm not sure whether those are die-cast or plastic shuttle bay doors. It's got some good details there though. You can clearly see there's a lot of red dots there. And there's a secondary paint application there. And there's the name Enterprise on the fantail. Okay. Some lovely details there. We've got some phaser banks there, some beacon lights there, and there's the strong back. We've got those nice turquoisey color band right there, like we get on the refit Enterprise. At least, now the windows, I noticed on this particular model, they're not molded in. There are no molded in windows. Everything here, all the windows that you see on this particular model, they're all painted on, they're all printed on. The only thing that's molded into the model is those docking ports. These docking ports, yeah, these docking bay doors, they are molded in. And the red outlines that go around it, they're okay. At least they're not too bad. Your impulse engines, they're nicely painted in. Okay, they're nice and red. Yeah, when I take a closer look at this model, I don't see any molded windows in there. Everything is all printed on. Now, I don't know about that. That is supposed to be a docking port or something, but as I said before, this bridge module is based off the Phase 2 version and not... It looks like the Phase 2 Enterprise bridge. I mean, I can't visualize this bridge coming from any other Enterprises. Well, this is not the refit Enterprise bridge, by the way. I mean, that's the only thing that's bugging me. Okay. Now, there are some very good details right there at the back. Okay, let me try to stabilize this. Camera shaking slightly. Okay, we got some very nice docking port there printed in. There's the observation lounge at the back of the bridge of the B deck, where Admiral Kirk, McCoy and Spock will meet up right there in the motion picture. Now the Enterprise NCC-1701-A, now this is way too big. This is supposed to be slightly smaller and not, I mean, these fonts are way too large. Okay, the impulse crystal there, that's nicely done. That is beautiful. That is crisp. I love that part there. They've done a very good job. I mean, let me tell you something. 50% of this model is good, and the other 50% is just horrible. I don't know why. But nonetheless, it still looks okay. I mean, if you put this on the shelf, on a display stand, it still looks like a very nice model. I mean, just imagine, if this model had no Aztec paneling painted on, it would look horrible. But thank God, at least it's got the Aztec panels in there. If not, I don't know what to say. There's supposed to be Aztec patterns painted in the nacelles as well, but on this version, they're absent. So, oh well. It is what it is. I mean, we can't get everything that we want unless we paint our own model, unless we build our own model of the refit. Oh, one last detail I forgot to mention. The torpedo bay, that's nicely done. At least that is painted well. It's got some slightly darker gray in there, and then we got a black color for the torpedo ports. So, okay. It's all good. It's all nice. Now let's put this on the display stand. Let's see what it looks like. Okay. Now for this to go on the display stand, we just... Alright. Now on this model, I think it's quite flushed. I don't think it's too tight. No, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's slightly tight on one side, so I'm not gonna push it all the way in. Yeah, it's slightly tight on this side, so... Alright, let me just angle the camera down slightly. And have a closer look. Alright, hang on a second. Let me just do that. Alright. Okay. So we got the magazine. We've covered that. Motion picture stuff in there. Nothing from Star Trek 4, 5, or 6, which is a shame. But nonetheless, we've got a very nice model of the refit. Even though it's not the greatest of all, it is still very nice. Still good. Now, I'm not sure whether if I'll recommend this model to any of you guys, unless you can accept all the errors that comes with it. I mean, no problem. But for me, I bought it because, to be honest with you, the reason why I bought this is not because of the mistakes. I bought this because I want to replace this for the, you know, the regular Enterprise A that did came out, the small version. I was supposed to buy that one, but it had some very awful details, so I skipped that one. And when I found out Eaglemoss was doing this version and it had better paint applications, so I decided to get this one instead. So this is sort of a replacement for the regular Enterprise A. So I've only got the refit version from the earlier release, from the regular version, yeah. So I've only got that one, and I've got the Enterprise A and the XL version. So yeah, this is still a great model. In my opinion, this is still a great model. I love the die cast in this. It is very good, very sturdy, solid built. The only thing I don't like is that bridge module. The Aztec could have been better on the saucer, and there could have been better detail on the nacelles. And those fonts, the letterings, they're way too large. They're supposed to be slightly smaller. Now, the registry and the name of the ship, they're great. They're accurate, just like the real thing. The phaser banks are nicely done. The RCS thrusters, however, they're slightly off. They're not painted in the right colors or the right proportions, and they're not complete. And the windows on the side of the saucer is not correct. That's missing, and that's the only thing that's bugging me. What bugs me? Bridge module, the missing sensor bands on the side of the edge of the saucer, the windows, and those slightly enlarged fonts. I mean, that's the only thing that I have with this model. That's the only problem I have. But other than that, everything else is excellent. So I don't know. What do you guys think? if you have any opinions, you can just drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about this model. And I think that's about it, guys. So I've still got more Eaglemoss models coming up shortly in a few days because I'll be taking a break. So I'll see you guys then. All right, cheerio. Have a great one, guys, and happy collecting.